And I kind of wonder, why do you consider yourself progressive? What can we count on you? What are you absolutely willing to go to the mat on for us?
Arlen Specter calling us. Can you put me through to Senator Grassley, who's in Iowa?
My experience is obviously based on 30-plus years in the U.S. military. And I tend to tell everybody that every military officer is a Democrat. They just don't realize it. Everybody in the military has health care. I went away for 11 and a half months at sea for the Afghanistan War. My 4-year-old and my, well, at the time, 1.5-year-old daughter, my wife, we all had health care. My mind was on the mission. When I had my command my aircraft carrier battle group, we wouldn't promote me to senior chief petty officer unless you earned an associate's college degree in a technology, our money, your time, because we understood the value of education. Third, that wonderful Army saying, come on in, to be all you can be economically. So the principles of the Democratic Party, which I consider practical or progressive, whatever name you want, are ones I got in. I got into paying back because when she was 4, my daughter, and I came back from the war, she had a brain tumor. And you all know the best health care plan I think can exist, tri-care military. And I got into politics for one simple reason, that everyone should have an economy. So that's how. Those 3 areas, I went to health subcommittees, fought to get out of the intelligence committee, or staying where it wanted to put me, because I had the Navy's anti-terrorism unit, to get on the education committee and labor, and then went to small business to show that Congress has a sense of humor. And I work hard because small businesses are what create jobs. And that's what I can do.
And I guess from the questions we got and the feedback we got in advance of this forum, there's a lot of people in this community who actually would be more inclined to support you than Senator Specter, who's just out here. But there's a lot of people in Pennsylvania who have been saying that that's nice, but you're just not positioned after only a couple of years to do what he's doing. And the senator was just out here saying that he's out fighting for health care, public options, working with people from across the aisle. Senator Grassley, you mentioned, both saying that he disagrees with him about the whole pull the plug on grandma live, but also that he's going to reach out to him, maybe call him today, he said that. And that he has this close relationship with Joe Biden and Barack Obama. He's respected you, but he's out of the fact that President Obama is also out here. He's not supporting him. The people in Pennsylvania need help now, and he powers Washington now. That's part of the argument, of course, we're going to get to over the next several months. What do you say to that with a straight face when you don't have anything near Senator Specter's background relations?
Okay, well, would you try about half an hour again? And call me on my cell phone, which is 215-901-1494.
Piece of legislation passed.
Okay, thanks very much.
First movement into law.
But I'm an Iraq war vet, and I just wanted to, just for the interest of full disclosure, just so you understand, I'm also the state chair here in Pennsylvania for GoldVets.org, and you know, we had to come out to endorse Congressman Joe Sestak for the primaries. But here's my quick question. You know that veterans care is a pretty progressive issue, and it's become more progressive over the last, I'd say 6 to 8 months especially. On your website, you tout about the amount of the VA has grown while you were chair of the committee. Yet the department was underfunded multiple times, and you had so bad that you actually had Secretary Nicholson come and beg and plead for more emergency funds as an amount of billions of dollars for the VA system. So my quick question is this, it's 2 parts. Isn't it the job of the VA committee to make sure that the agency has enough function, no matter what the administration says, have enough resources to function? And on that, if it is yes, or if it is so, what is the mistakes that you personally made as chairman that let it come to the point where Secretary Nicholson had to admit that VA was so close to shutting its doors because it was so badly underfunded?
You should have the experience that does.
Let me bring you back to the
6 years that I chaired the Veterans Committee, and I worked really hard to increase the funding. and carried the issue to the floor, and we got a lot of increases if you take a look at the record. And I have fought for the veterans consistently during my tenure. And one illustration, we had a problem in the Philadelphia Veterans Hospital with respect to prospects and seeds. And I convened a meeting of the committee.
And I mean that for every individual.
Sent to the chairman. And we're taking action on Monday by bringing in the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, General Sachaki, to Philadelphia VA. We're going to meet with the veteran leaders. You're invited before we have a meeting with veterans. And then we're catching a U.S. Air flight. We're going out. And when I called him up because of my stay, he said, "You need to come send respect." And I'm going to call it to his attention. I'd like to have an opportunity to speak to your membership. I was a little surprised you made an endorsement without talking to me, but you have a right to whatever procedure you like, but I'd like you to reconsider it.
Well, that was a big question I had. Like, do you feel at all, as being chairman of that committee for a time, at all responsible, or I mean, because the VA, it's not a little known fact. I mean, the VA has been multiple times underfunded and never fully funded at that for the longest time. I mean, do you feel any type of responsibility at all for that, or why should the Secretary of the Department of VA have to come and beg for billions when it's almost close to closing down their doors?
Well, the chairman of the Veterans Committee can conduct hearings, which I did, and can point out the reasons to take the fight to the floor. But it's a matter of what the Senate is going to pass. When you take a look at the Senate, and this is both Democrats and Republicans, not very anxious to increase the funding. But I've been at the forefront.
You know that you can support it.
You know my own background, my father, it's a special concern of mine. And I'm a veteran. My brother's a veteran.
Usually, when people have been part of the early support movement for
I don't think anybody could fairly say I did anything but fight like hell, and am fighting like hell for that.
I appreciate your time so much.
Okay, well,
Senator Specter, when will you get back to us on the phone call?
When you ran for president in 1996, one of your platforms was a flat tax of 20% of your income. Last year, you had actually town halls throughout Pennsylvania with Grover Norquist promoting your flat tax proposal, and a month before you switched parties, you again introduced that into the Senate. Do you support still today a flat tax of 20%?
So on the FISA bill, I made it very clear.
I want to take a look at it in light of what we're spending today on stimulus and what we're going to have to spend on global warming. I want to take a look at where we stand today.
Thank you.
Senator, I grew up in Pittsburgh. I've always admired you. I live in Chicago now, where in the south suburbs people switch parties quite often as a matter of convenience. What does it mean to you to be a Democrat?
Well, I've expressed it this morning.
I had clearly stated in a press release that I want immunity only if a district civilian judge California district judge who had consolidated all the cases, if he was given the opportunity to determine yes or no.
Program of President Obama.
That is what
became
happened.
a Democrat in effect.
Now, the case by ACLU is going to appeal. So,
Respectfully, that's not exactly what happened.
true. What did happen is that the Attorney General, the real mishap, there is one in here, was in the bill given permission to make the first judgment upon whether he
I gotta give you kudos for.
they had done it by the law.
Senator, when will you get back to us on the call with Chuck Grassley?
What's that?
When will you get back to us on the results of the call with Senator Grassley?
Well, I just called him and through the switchboard in Washington. There was no answer at his phone, and I have asked the switchboard operator to try in 30 minutes. and to call me on my cell phone. If you give my age or name and number, if you call us, I'll catch up with you.
Senator Cameron, tell
Remember
us
what
why
Joe
the call.
Lewis said about Billy Conn? He can run, but he can't hide. I'll find him.
Is he?
You've been reported as having said at a bar association meeting that if you had been chairman of the Judiciary Committee, that you would have you would have started investigations with regard to Carl Rowe's purported abuse of power and misuse of the Department of Justice as a political weapon. Do you think there's any chance to get the Judiciary Committee to take up this investigation where John Conyers has left off?
Well, I did investigate. I didn't say I would, I did.
Yes,
sir. And I brought in Attorney General Gonzalez. And, if you saw my questioning of Attorney General Gonzalez, it was sort of like the town meeting.
Yes, sir.
When he said habeas corpus wasn't in the Constitution, this is one illustration already in the Constitution. And we brought in his administrative assistant, and we found out what they had done, and we brought in a fellow from Arizona, and listened to him. We pursued that investigation very, very far.
Yes, sir.
I'll pass your request on to Senator Levy. It's up to Gavin now, it's up to him.
We need to get going so we can stay on schedule.
Okay.